Well, hello, and welcome to Cold Beers and Curveballs, episode number 39. I am Chase Almy.
I'm Corey Stevens.
And we are joining you from the beautiful Walk-Off Sports headquarters in the West End until we get kicked out, which is apparently at the end of the month.
Breaking news, everyone.
Breaking news. If you have an office space here, you don't at the end of the month.
All right.
Well.
Then. All right. Then. Let's rock and roll.
So much for that. No, we got a good show for you. It's going to be a little slow. It is the end of the month, so we're 1 month into professional baseball being played, which it seems like it's been a lot longer. No, I don't know if that's like a bad thing or anything, but I just feel like the season's...
Felt kind of long because the Rangers suck and the Dodgers suck.
Yeah, like and that's the thing.
There's been a bunch of cancellations.
Right, it feels like there's gaps in between what's been going on and whatnot. But yeah, so we have that going on. We have the Rangers kind of looked all right after coming off of a really, really bad month.
It's true. Last week we were talking about the bullpen was gassed. They were on a losing streak. Things were looking real ugly.
They couldn't pull wins out when they had the lead.
Yeah, they did blow some leads. They have righted that ship a little bit and turned it around to kind of like a 500 record where they beat Toronto on the road in the series. They beat Toronto in the series. So there's a little sign of improvement coming from the Rangers. But right now their pace shows for 59 wins, so that would be a 100-loss season. I don't think that's going to happen. But it's not looking super pretty, and we are sitting behind the Oakland A's and
they are dead last.
The Angels and the Mariners and the Astros.
9 games back from first is where those beloved Rangers are sitting. But the Cubs started out last week when we were talking. They were number 4 in the NL Central. They were sitting in 4th place, and they've been able to pull themselves out up to over a half-game lead over Pittsburgh. So looks like they're finally starting to come around.
You know who else had a winning streak? The Yankees. 9-game winning streak, as far as I checked. Did they win that 10th one? It was on Sunday, I believe. So although they still have their, Giancarlo is still on pace to strike out 500 million times, I think, this year. Maybe 250.
Right.
It's still going to be a record, though, if he can't get it together. The Yankees have been looking really good, though.
Yeah, the Yankees' last 10, they had a 9-1.
They must have lost that. Aaron Judge Sanchez, is that their catcher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didi Gregorius over at short.
They got a good little team. I hate to say it. They do have a nice little team.
Because Boston has been playing really well, but the Yankees are caught up with them.
They're 3 games back behind the Boston in the AL East. Boston, they did do a 500 last 10, 5-5.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, though, able to have a 9-1 on their last 10 games.
That's impressive from the Rays.
Right? Yeah. So they're climbing up. Baltimore, who a lot of people thought were going to be the kind of the sleeper team, they really fell asleep because they're 13 games back.
Yeah, they're just sleeping.
Right?
The Boston Red Sox are coming to town, though. Well, we got
We've got Cleveland tonight.
We got a couple more games, Cleveland. And actually, last night was looking good, but then we blew it.
Right. That's what we're good at.
Rangers and Indians. But yeah, Cleveland for a couple more games, and then Boston in town for this weekend. What are we, Tuesday today? Boston is Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, Friday,
or
Saturday,
maybe
Sunday.
even 4-game series?
I think it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
But the important news is that I'm going to be there. Soaking that up. There's also Josh Abbott band concert after. So, should be a lovely game Sunday afternoon. Beautiful weather.
Josh Abbott was in the speed metal trio In Sync back in the 90s.
Falls?
Are you sure?
Josh Abbott band is a Texas country institution.
Oh, so basically Nickelback with steel guitar. Gotcha.
Man, I'm going to have to put this this episode right now.
Hey, I'm just saying.
It's
So
just
Houston's
waiting.
able to capitalize on a 7-3 winning streak for the last 10 games, making their record 20-10 to be able to pull 2.5 games above the Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners also having a 7-3 record in the last 10, bringing them to 16-11. LA, which was my pick, is now 3 games back with a 16-12. They've had a 3-7 on their last 10.
You saying they're not hot?
They're not hot right now.
Chase doing the hot or not segment. Way to go.
14-14 is 500, and that's what the Oakland A's look like. They had a 6-4 on the last 10, and then rounding out 11-19 with a 367% winning percentage, and 9 games back with 4-6 on the last 10 is your Texas Rangers.
11-19 doesn't sound that terrible.
11-19 doesn't sound
only
that
had-
bad, but then you just multiply it by 7, and then you have the record.
When they were like single-digit wins, then it looked real bad.
Right. AL East, you
we're
got
gonna get
Boston,
there.
Yankees, Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore sitting there. 3 games separate Boston from the New York
Let's
Yankees.
talk about the AL Central, though. Okay, the Cleveland Indians, and it might be not true anymore by today because of the last game, but the Indians had a -3 run differential, even though they're winning the division.
They have a
-1
-1 run differential
Every
right now.
single team in the AL Central has a negative run diff.
Yes, you got -1 for Cleveland. Detroit's -4. Minnesota's -36. White Sox
Good.
are -42. And Kansas City, rounding out the bottom, is -65.
What is Minnesota's record?
Minnesota's record is 9-15.
Good
But they've
Lord.
also missed like 12 games.
Still, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty ugly start for somebody who made the wild.
They're
card last
missing
year.
3 games at this point because everybody should be right around 27, 28
Yeah.
games. And they're sitting there with 9-15. The White Sox are at 8-18. It looks like
That's
Kansas
another one.
City, Cleveland, and Detroit are the only ones that have been able to get
That's
their
another
stuff
one
in.
that needs to pull that shit
Which,
together.
if
is
you want to go off
Minnesota.
run differential, Texas is the only team in the AL West with a negative run
Yeah.
differential of -41. Houston has a +64.
Yeah.
Boston has a +63.
Dang. That's
So-
impressive. So speaking of Texas, let's get into the talk this morning was about trading Elvis Andrus. Why were people talking about trading Elvis Andrus? It's because Corey Seager over with the Dodgers is out for the entire year.
Yeah, Corey Seager announced yesterday. I was sitting at a burger joint with the lady, and I saw it come across breaking. Corey Seager out indefinitely to undergo Tommy John surgery on his right elbow, which is honestly kind of troubling and questioning because you don't see that surgery a lot with
Position players?
position
No.
players. Rarely you'll see one in the outfield, which makes sense if you think about it.
They're using their arm just as much as a shortstop. pretty
Yeah,
much, just as
but
much
different
as a
throwing
catcher.
mechanics and how far you're having to throw and things like that. More so you see it with catchers.
Yeah. Catcher
Because a lot of
throwing
people
just as
don't
much
take
as
into
a pitcher.
consideration that a catcher throws the ball 60.5 feet just as much as every pitcher on the staff that day.
Yep.
So
Except for those times when the umpire throws it back. There was a random little clip. 2 balls got thrown out at yesterday, I think, like at the same time. Catcher
Oh,
picked one up, umpire threw one out, and pitcher's like,
yeah, pitcher moves. I always think of the angry Hungarian when I see that when he throws the balls back and the ump gets mad and he throws him like 2 more and he goes over and picks it up, scuffs it on the mound, and then throws it back out.
right,
It's one of my favorite like old school clips from back in the day with the Royals.
right.
But yeah, so
The rest of the Rangers. So essentially, Elvis is also injured currently, but we're talking future plans. Rangers are most definitely, most likely. It all comes up to management. Which pieces do they want to save for long? The next 3 or 4 years, and which ones are they going to ship? Players like Beltre, who are aging, probably going to shipped out. Players like Andrus, you kind of got to think about it because he's going to be about 30 years old. He's signed for another several years. Do you go get some value for him, to really rebuild and restock?
I mean, at this point,
Or do you stick with that? Because I think we need. I would say that the Rangers need. He needs to be the veteran that takes over the Rangers clubhouse. If you're gonna lose Beltre,
right?
And
Beltre
injured
made the
another
comment
year.
that he doesn't want to be traded.
I thought we were talking all last year about how he needs to go to a contender.
He
Why is
needs
gonna
to go to a
waste
contender,
time
but
on
that's
the
kind of. I
Rangers?
don't think it's been addressed by him.
Yeah.
But I would say, out of everybody that I think they would get rid of, Andrus really is the only person we have with value. Because they're not going to get rid of Gallo. They're not going to get rid of Mazzaro.
Maybe people talking Cole Hamels. Sorry, I wanted to say Cole Calhoun, but
Cole Hamels, though, Cole Hamels is on his way out anyways. We have him for another year.
right. Well, that would be a prime trade target.
Right, yeah. Come
basically.
for a contender.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been that productive this season.
He hasn't, and he can. We'll wait and see.
But is he going to be the next Verlander?
No.
Like, is that what we're looking at? Where
No, he's like on par with Sonny Gray or somebody middle upper
right? But if
pack.
you remember back, nobody wanted Justin Verlander
Well,
because
I think
Justin
that was a
Verlander.
contract issue. I don't think
It was a
Cole-
contract issue, but it was also a performance-based issue where he wasn't the Justin Verlander that we remembered.
But now he is.
Oh yeah, now he is. He found that new group. He's like Chris
Maybe
Davis.
it's because he's using pine tar on the mound.
Maybe. We'll
That's
get into
what,
that here in a few minutes.
That's what Trevor Bauer's accusing. The
But no,
Astros of.
I think a trade with the I think a trade to L.A. wouldn't be too far fetched.
So, but this is the thing. Okay, they were really diving into it this morning. Elvis's contract has 2 opt-outs, completely up to him. So it's unlikely that a team would risk that unless he were to sign, unless he was to opt in before the trade as a condition of the trade, because he could actually only play the half season left over in 2018. Say he doesn't like the place and opt out. He has a full opt out at the end of this year and the end of next year potential. So it's like, it's not a normal deal where you send them, and of course they're going to be there for 2 years because or his contract goes for like 5 years, really. Is he going to be there for long term? It's a weird contract, so that actually might complicate things. The whole conversation was brought up simply because Corey Seager is out for the Dodgers, but if the Dodgers can right their ship with a backup, because they've got a lot of talent, they should be able to right that ship even with a backup shortstop.
Yeah, but they've already gotten into some injury issues. They have Turner out.
Turner's still out for how much?
I think he's got a couple more weeks on his stint.
Yeah, right. That's what
their pitching has had some issues. I think they scratched not Wright, but Hill. They scratched Hill on a start.
The blisters and Hill. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you have some other things. So it's kind of like, do you take this season as a wash? If something happens, great. If it doesn't,
no, you're
we
the
understand.
Dodgers, and you went to the World Series. They're gonna keep competing.
Right. But I don't think they're going to be willing to give up the farm.
No, but I think two prospects for somebody who fills in.
Because they already had to do that last time with Darvish. They gave up Willie Calhoun.
That's not their farm.
But he was top prospect.
No, he was third.
Third top prospect.
They didn't give up. There was a lot of other guys they could have given up, and so it's just talking about. Somebody like Elvis demands the same value, but it's a very questionable thing with the contract. It's just all speculation. The Dodgers have to get it together, though. There's going to be a ton of pressure on Dave Roberts. One thing that I did find interesting, the other day he benched Bellinger. He benched Cody Bellinger for not hustling. So Bellinger hits a double against San Francisco to Triple's alley. It's 420 in right center field in San Francisco. Well, he kind of stumbles out of the box, but then he didn't. Dave Roberts, clearly manager for the LA Dodgers, clearly felt that he could have liked out a triple, and he just gets a standing double. He benched him, and I don't know. At the very next play, I think somebody else followed him up with a triple.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is how you should have done it.
It's easy to do that in San Francisco, especially if you get the right bounce out there off that right field wall.
Yeah, no, he had it, and I mean he has above average speed. He should have been able to get that. Robert's trying to send a message. I think he's trying to right that ship, but it's looking shaky right now. So to finish with the Rangers, though, we seem to be having talks locally about Joey Gallo, whether or not what his position should be.
Yeah, that's going to be the talk for everybody.
Guzman, is it Carlos Guzman?
Yeah.
Yeah. They call him the Condor because he's got a big wingspan. He plays first base defensively very well. He doesn't have a lot of power, but he's been hitting fine. He hit a couple home runs maybe. He's been hitting well, filling in at first base, and Joey Gallo's been over at third. If Beltre comes back, Joey Gallo's position is not going to be third. Are you going to put him in left field? Well, if left field, it's just a game of musical chairs.
And they had said at the beginning of the season they were going to have a set spot for Joey Gallo.
First base was supposed to be the set spot,
right?
Except for Beltre got injured again,
right? Well, and I think honestly, Beltre with this hamstring issue,
yeah. And actually, no, they've clearly put Joey Gallo in left field sometimes because they've had that new guy from Oakland, Nunez, I think, from batting third base or playing third base. So it's been Joey's getting every day at bats. We're good there. But the Rangers do have some decisions to be made in the 2 to 4 week span of, hey, do we keep Guzman up? Does he have position flexibility? Because so many of the players on the Rangers do. Does he have flexibility that we can put Joey at first and still get use out of Guzman, or does he not? And he's going to get sent down or something like that. So it's a great situation because the injuries let a lot of young players play.
Right.
We got Kiner Falefa playing second. He's doing well. We got Profar playing short. He's doing pretty good. He's showing off a little power, but in a few weeks we're gonna have to decide all that.
No, yeah, that makes sense. There's a huge change in what's going on where there was, injuries, but there's players that have stepped up. They're still on pace to what everybody thought they were going to be this year. So not a lot has changed, which could be good or bad.
Renato Nunez. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
We're not at a point where we're a AAA team, whether we want to believe it or not.
Totally.
We're a AAA team, and this is going to be one of those seasons. I think everybody has pretty much written this season off. Yep. We're getting what we can.
That's what happens when you get off to a terrible start.
Right.
We're optimistic about being a 500 team.
Yeah.
And you get off to a terrible start, we're saying, no, there's no more optimism.
No, there's definitely some issues there that I think we're going to see and keep seeing. I think Odor good year was a fluke as opposed to last year was. But hey, you take that horse and you take that fucking money that Daniels gave you and get.
No, but he's not even worth that much. Like people talk about the money, his contract's not that insane.
What was it? 7 years, 42.
Yeah, he's still young and he's really. I mean, we could look at his contract, but his contract's not something like, oh, dang, we have to stick with him forever. It's the fact that we're 1 year into the contract and we still feel like he's the talent that we should have. But, dude, he's being outplayed. I mean, in his couple weeks here, Kiner Falefa is outplaying him.
Right.
And
but that's what baseball
generally
is.
Has better defense, actually. Too.
Right. So I've been watching this show that's on Fox Sports Southwest called Cape Cod. And it's about, or The Cape or something like that. It's about the Cape Cod League, which is a summer league played in Massachusetts on the Cape. You've got, I think, 11 teams or something, 12 teams like that.
It's just a semi-pro summer league?
It's a summer league, yeah, for college players. A lot of D1, a lot of your top prospects go and play there. And one of the quotes that one of the managers makes is, baseball is unlike any other sport. There's always someone behind you trying to take your spot. Yeah. Like it's the game of the most uncertainty. And I believe that because of the way the farm system is. Yeah. There's always somebody clamoring to go from AA to AAA to the majors. It's just one of those things where, these guys, it's not making it to the majors, it's staying in the majors.
Right.
And luckily for the Rangers, they're able to stay in the majors because they don't have a farm system right now.
They didn't have a lot.
I think...
But see, here's the thing is, those valuations of your farm system talent don't rate guys like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa highly. They're just randoms who have a chance to have a great year.
I'm just going to say this.
Just because his skills don't show that he should be a 5-tool player, this, that, and that talent. But if he's David Eckstein for his career, if he's Hawaiian Hustle, if he's the random guy who actually stays productive for his entire career just because he's good, then you keep him. It doesn't value those kind of guys. And sometimes you get short-term value. Sometimes you get 6 hot months from a random prospect that doesn't show up on your farm system rankings.
Right.
That's Kiner-Falefa. That Guzman
but that's
shows
a lot of
up
people.
On your.
That's
on
Albert Pujols.
Yeah, maybe
Albert Pujols, 13th round.
So Guzman shows up.
What is he? 3 hits away now from 3,000.
Yeah. No, I mean, didn't he get it? No.
No, he hasn't got it. He was 4 hits
he got
on Sunday night.
Right? He got 500. Only 500 home runs. Yeah.
He's on the he's on the list for 3,000. He's almost there.
Right, he's almost there.
Yeah. No, but I mean that's the thing is these guys are, they play lights out like that and they can be there. And I think that's where
No, I mean Odor was good and then he was bad and he looked like he was really going to work hard in spring to fix his plate approach. But now he's injured. So you can't Falefa has shown position flexibility so that he can stay as a backup. Then how many backup infielders do you want who have flexibility? You got Profar and Falefa,
dude, they should have thrown away.
They should have traded away Profar. You're right.
I want to know whoever is the person that graded him and put him as the top prospect in Major League Baseball. Because if that's the case, please do a goddamn review of our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. Yeah, and just make us the best podcast in the world.
He looked like, young, talented. He could be there. But speaking of Odor's contract, 6-year, $49 million was what it came out to be.
Okay.
So last year he signed it. Last year was $1 million base. This year $3 million base. Next year $7 million base.
So it goes up as it goes up. The
problem is that it's going up.
Right. Yeah.
That's where is that it's $9 million, $12 million, $12 million, $12 million.
And that's the thing that I think his contract is probably going to be one of the last ones we see that's built like that, where it's more upfront money.
Sure, but it goes. He's age 24 to 29. I mean, you should get better during those years.
Right. Well, you should hit your peak in
about 28. Yeah, something like that. So it's to be determined.
I'll tell you what else is to be determined. What's the next segment in this fucking podcast?
It's a bitch don't talk to me.
Oh, yeah. Don't fucking talk to me. So, I am not a Yankees fan. In fact, when I make it rich from cold beers and curveballs and become this huge analyst for some team or some sports thing, whatever, my dream is to have a huge Boston Fenway Park wiffle ball down to the fucking specs Fenway Park wiffle ball field in my backyard and a man cave with all my fucking sports shit and a bathroom in there. And the bathroom, the toilet is going to be pinstripe colored inside so I can shit on the Yankees every fucking day of my life.
Of course you will. If you have regular bowel movements, which I doubt you do considering what you eat.
Dude, you would be surprised. Chicken fried anything will give you the fucking runs. You have bowel movements pretty often.
You heard it here first.
Right? So, no. But yes, I hate the Yankees. But I love CC Sabathia today.
He's a good dude.
He's an alcoholic, so he'd probably like our show. He fucking He took the playoffs off to go to AA.
Susie, go listen to about episode 17 from last year where we say Umps Gone Wild.
Umps Gone Wild.
Freaking Angel Hernandez.
Angle Hernandez. The old Angle. Working an angle with CC Sabathia.
Why
so this
did
guy,
we not fire him last year?
2 years ago, I believe it was 2015 maybe. There was a poll that they did on umpires.
Worst ump in baseball.
22% of major league players at the time had him ranked as their top, which doesn't say a lot, but every other guy was below that just off of people who had personal beef with another ump. Chipper Jones last year even called for a boycott on Twitter of any Angel. He said he wasn't going to watch, go to, do whatever with a game umped by Angel Hernandez.
This has been going on for a while.
Yeah. Angel Hernandez, A, joke of an ump, B, even more so a joke of a human. And he wanted to try to play the race card that they didn't like him because he was Latino or whatever. No, they just don't fucking like you because you're a horrible fucking ump. Your balls and strikes, I think you got them mixed up. I mean, they're bad. You've made shit calls. You overturn calls. And it seems like every time any of this happens, you need to, evaluate this. And the problem is it's not going to get any better.
No, of course not.
Because they cannot fire him due to the way that the NFL or the MLB, the MLB, NFL, and all they all.
Maybe we'll fire him due to conduct detrimental to the league, right?
Right. Everybody's got conduct detrimental to something these fucking days. I heard that earlier today.
He needs to be let go. And CC's giving him hell because he is giving him hell.
So if there's a baseball fan,
talk to me.
Right? Yeah. So that's the thing is he becomes confrontational. Umpires are very confrontational. Like there's, Joe West gets confrontational. There's a couple of other ones that will get confrontational. Angel Hernandez. So the basically he had a 2-1 or a 1-2. It was called a ball. Ended up still getting grounded out to shortstop, and made the comment about being not happy with the. I didn't see that part of it. Yeah, Sabathia had made a comment. Well, Angel Hernandez starts walking toward him. Now, the whole thing that an umpire is supposed to do
should be diffusing the
situation instead of fucking saying, just cut the red one and let's get the bomb to blow up sooner. Like that's really what he's doing. He's causing more problems than he is helping it. And so he says, don't talk to me, call fucking strikes. That's what he said. Aaron Boone runs out to get kind of in between because it was only in the third inning when this happened. So they don't want to lose CC Sabathia in the third inning. The bullpen, I was surprised the bullpen pitcher didn't run out and try to argue just to save everybody from having to have him sit out. Because he's the first one to fucking throw you out.
Yeah.
It's very disheartening that MLB still allows this caliber of human to be an umpire. It's bullshit for the league. It's bullshit for the game. It makes everything look bad.
Hey, but if we're gonna have a rainy, cold April, and your top teams in LA are not doing as well the last week, you need a little bit of news. So let's have a little bit of umpire controversy. Speaking of controversy, Trevor Bauer is throwing some serious shade at the Houston Astros. He says they are using pine tar to increase their spin rate as pitchers.
You know why he's saying that?
Why is that, Chase?
Because all they can do is.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.
That is what Trevor Bauer is all upset about, because all they do is fucking win. I mean, they do have some insane spin rates. I've looked at their stuff on Fangraphs. They are a force to be reckoned with, but you knew that.
It's true they win, but they've also had, minor leaguers caught for PEDs. They've got... This is problematic. You can't have a culture of cheating. And if
No,
they're
you
using
can't have a
pine tar-
culture of cheating.
If the pitcher is using pine tar and minor leaguers using PEDs...
But here's the thing, Mr. Bauer and everybody else in the world.
they're really fucking good. It's true.
All you have to do as a manager or as a player,
Let's just beat them.
go to Tito. Trevor, go to Tito and say, hey, that fucker out there on the mound's got something on him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they're going to do? They're going to go tell the other umpires. They're going to have a meeting. They're going to get A.J. Hinch involved, and they're all going to take a trip out to the fucking mound.
But then the next day, every single one of them gets beaned, and it's a bunch of bullshit about pleasing yourself.
No, I don't think masturbation has anything to do with this, Corey.
About policing yourself?
Oh, policing. I thought you said pleasing yourself. Sorry. No, policing.
I mean, hey, whoa, man, why are you accusing of this or that? They come up clean. Bullshit. And then they get angry for the next day, and they throw at each other.
I mean, you've got to,
That.
that's how this shit happens.
That's how it should happen, but if the consequences are everyone gets beaned for 5 straight innings,
I don't think that's going to be the case.
Then that's why he only just talks to the
because
press.
with how all of this shit's been going down, they'll issue warnings at the beginning of the game. If they feel like
they're not going to do it just because he talked to the news.
Well, no, but if it's in a situation in the game, that next day he's going to go out there and stand in front of home plate. And he's going to point at both dugouts, and that's going to be
and they don't do it.
I mean, definitely don't do it if Angel Hernandez is there and you've ever once fucking looked at him after he's made a ball or strike call.
Your entire team is thrown out. Game over, guys.
Right.
Oh, man. No, we'll have to look into that. It broke this afternoon. We haven't really dove into that. But
I don't
I'm sure
see.
it will
I don't
circulate
see
for
anything.
a couple days, and there will be some grainy video footage.
Right?
Or something.
Yeah, there'll be some conspiracy theorists out there that are going to be looking. So, but you know what people should be looking for, Corey?
What's that?
They should be looking for us on Thursday nights.
It's true.
You know where they should be looking for, Sat?
Frisco, Texas. Maybe is it Warren Avenue or something like that?
It's off of Gaylord Parkway.
Gaylord Parkway.
Yeah, out at the Dr. Pepper ballpark,
bad
out
that
in the
wasn't-
outfield, because we're going to be hanging out at Party at the Yard.
Too bad that wasn't officially called Gaylord Perry Parkway, because that would have been good old baseball life, right?
Oh, yeah. No, dude.
Party at the Yard. Tell us more about that for your listeners who do not know what Party at the Yard is. In DFW, you should go check it out if you are a young adult.
So, yeah, it's 21 and older to get in. It's in the outfield. You got $19 tickets for the Lazy River. If you want to drink a little, you want to sit in the inner tube, watch some baseball.
And that is where you should be watching baseball games in May in Texas.
In
or
July.
in June or July or August.
Right.
You know,
don't advise it in Detroit yet or places up north. But no.
We got a lazy river in the outfield.
Right. We have a Lazy River in the outfield here.
Beautiful stadium.
So it's $10 to get in, $15 at the door, $10 advance tickets, and it's dollar beers. And they have a whole thing with Deep Ellum Brewery.
Yeah.
So it's cans, dollar cans.
$10, $15 is your cover charge, but it's basically it's cheap beer the entire night with a bunch of baseball fans. That's why you should be there.
I did the math. Corey and I can be happy for $21 each. We got $10 tickets.
And one beer.
We have one hot dog, and we have 7 beers each at $21 a piece.
Oh, for each of us.
So $42.
$4 hot dog.
Yeah.
Got
so
it.
guys,
Got
if you
it.
have a girlfriend,
So,
or
yeah,
if girls you
21
have a
apiece.
boyfriend,
$21 per person.
under $50, you're having a good fucking night.
Yeah, Rangers tickets are $35 for, that's pretty much starting point on Sunday.
Right, yeah. No, those Boston Red Sox come to town and they want to jack those
It's going to be a
prices
good one.
up.
That's my late birthday present. It's going to be a good time. I'm sitting third deck, but first row, very center. So it's going to be perfect view. The very, very bottom of the third deck. Right behind
Where
home
at?
plate.
Right
behind
over home plate?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect
Dude,
lined
those
up.
Lexus Club seats that are like the section
Right
down
above-
below,
Right above Lexus.
perfect fucking
Yeah,
seat.
no, I bet.
I like to
But I'm
sit
gonna
out
say-
over the visitors' bullpen because I feel like that's
It's a
the.
long way away.
But that's the angle that you're looking at, anyways, from TV on the
you are
TV.
right, yeah.
So you do see a lot of what's going on with it. Plus, you can
Yeah,
usually
but
make
the
some
Zoom-
friends and get some free bubble gum.
I bet you could.
That's what we do. So yeah, but no, definitely be ready for us. Be checking it out on Facebook and stuff. We'll be making an announcement hopefully this week on some things going on with Party at the Yard. We'll be out there. Come hang out with us. Find us so we can find you guys. Instagram and Facebook, Cold Beers and Curveballs. Twitter, CB and CB Podcast. You can catch this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube,
And coming soon.
and coming soon,
We're hoping
Spotify.
Spotify.
So until next time, guys, keep drinking that beer, keep watching that baseball, and we will have a great week, and we'll see you next week.